Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Itsmontez.com. Itsmontez.com. If you haven't subscribed to the website, you should do it. Duh. Today, I have on with me John Pounders, CEO of Now You See TV. I'm going to actually sit down and speak to him a little bit about how he got to where he is. I mean, it's a lot of information that he's going to be spilling out. I know a lot of people have lots of questions. How do you build your following? How do you start your business online? How do you get things running in a fluent way that you'd like them to within your online social media, YouTube marketing, website marketing, blogging, whatever it is. But I'm going to bring him in, and he's going to speak to you all about how he got started. And then maybe whenever you listen to how he got successful and how he's gained his success, I'm sure you could take something from this conversation and apply it to yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, John Pounders from Now You See TV. John, thanks so much for being on.
Thank you, Montez, for having me on here, man. I appreciate the opportunity always. And that's one key thing to people too. One of the keys I was going to point on: never turn down an opportunity to go on somebody's show, no matter how little the audience. It does not matter. Never turn down the opportunity. Always do it, and always be thankful, because you never know who could be watching. Gaining one or two people that follow what you do is success, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks so much. It really means a lot. And like you said, never really taking out, overlooking someone just because of their following, staying to the brass tacks, I guess, if you will. Well, I'm going to open up and just pretty much have you explain a little bit of what it is you do and how long you've been doing it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've been doing this since about 2010, what I do with Now You See TV. I've done a lot of different things, okay? So basically, it started out when I decided I wanted to do videos. I enjoy doing videos. I like reaching as many people as possible, because unlike a lot of people's goals to make, some people, my goal is I want to make money. I want to do all these things. But what my goal is not to make money. I do make money, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
my goal has always been to reach people and to make videos and to enjoy talking to people and doing stuff like that. I'm doing it from home. As you can hear, I got my kids in the background hollering because their mom's home, and I enjoy it. I mean, most nights I do it later on in the night, so they're in bed and I get to enjoy and talk to people. But it's a family type environment, something I really enjoy doing. So, but it hasn't always been that easy. Okay. So in 2010, I never did any videos before. I felt, I do Christian videos and kind of fringe type videos. I mean, in some of our shows, we talk about Sasquatch and who knows, we talk about all kinds of wild stuff, because I'm a researcher. I like to research things. I like to interview authors of books that I've read, interesting paranormal type stuff. That's the stuff that I get into. But here's my son here. See, we're working from home sometimes isn't easy. You got kids that come on, and usually they're in bed when I do shows. But he's going to be the next Now You See TV guy on here eventually, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. Go in there with your mother. Okay.
Very, very,
right, so,
very good. He'd come in and join with you on the scene while you're doing.
Yeah. Normally it's not like that, but like I said, it's early in the day, so we don't. You have to go in here, buddy. I'm doing a live show. Okay. Yeah. But so, anyways, so anyways, in 2010, I decided I wanted to do videos. I really had a passion for it. And the first thing I would tell people, if you really want to succeed at what you do, is figure out what you're passionate about. What do you like doing? Because you can make goals to make money. You can make goals to do all these different things. But until you really figure out what you like doing or what you're going to do, you will never make money, and you will never, unless you get a job somewhere that you hate and you make money, you can do that. But I mean, that's not really being successful and living life, in my opinion. I mean, I've had jobs where I made $70,000, $80,000 a year, but I couldn't stand the job. So what's the point in making money if you can't stand what you're doing, if you can't stand each day to the next? So rule number one is find something that you love. Rule number two, find what you love, make it a job. Okay, and when I say make it a job, this is what you're going to have.
A lot of people, they say, I've got a lot of hobbies. I got a lot of things. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the videos that I've put in my earlier YouTube videos, can you make your hobby your job? Like, it's not possible, but you're going to tell us it is. It's possible. So
it's very possible. I mean, because almost every hobby you can think of, somebody has it as a job already. You name the hobby. Just name a hobby right off the top of your head.
Drawing.
Drawing. There's people that are artists out there that make lots of money drawing cartoons, drawing architecture, drawing buildings, drawing whatever you could think of. People are drawing and making lots of money. So that's a hobby, but it's a hobby you can turn into a lifestyle. Think about the thing that you wanted to be as a child, or when you were younger and said, I want to do this. You weren't thinking about how much money that thing made. You were thinking about, this is what I want to do.
Correct.
Right. So, and a key to doing that and making it a job rather than a hobby is going to be blocking out everybody's opinion about what they think you should do. Block out their ideas. If they have, oh, why don't you try this, man? You can make some money doing this. Try this, you can make money doing this. And it's always appealing because everybody likes a quick money scheme. Everybody thinks that's really cool to just, here you can make $1,000 a week doing this, man. All you have to do is send 10 emails a week or something. Everybody likes the idea of that because it seems like, wow, that would be cool. But there's always more to it. Nothing's easy. There's no such thing as easy money unless it's fast money that is illegal money. So,
right. So like on your startup, I'm pretty sure, like, did you go through trial and error? A lot of people, they'll start off with like the MLM businesses and they'll say like, all right, I'm going to try this out, see how it goes, and then step on to another thing. Did you first start off with creating content on YouTube, or did you ever like try any of these pyramid schemes, if you will, or maybe like some people do Amway, some people do just vitamin supplement programs to where they'll sell the vitamins. Did you ever spend any time doing that?
Hold on. Well, what I guess one of the when I started doing it, I just started doing it on YouTube. I didn't make it a job right away because it was just, like you said, a hobby to me. I enjoyed doing it, but I never dreamed that I could actually do it and do some of the other things working from home to make a living. I just never thought it was possible. I mean, I'd heard people talk about it, and I when I was working at one of the jobs that I had before, I had a pretty good mentor that told me, pyramid schemes basically, or that's what they are. They're schemes. You know what I mean? Stop trying to waste your time doing stuff like that. Yeah. So stop trying to waste your time doing stuff like that. Find what you want to do and do it. And I didn't listen for the longest time. I'm like, this came along, and even actually as a youngster about 7 years ago, I started dealing drugs, started doing anything I could do to make fast money. Okay. 7 years ago, I became a Christian. Things changed in my life, and I went down the fast track to being a passion, to wanting to do videos and reach people at the same time. Like, reaching people was my passion. Okay. So when I started doing it, I did it, but I didn't do it consistently every day. It was like once every week, once every 2 weeks, I would post a video. I would get together with friends. We'd make a few videos, fun videos. We'd go videotape people's testimonies every now and then. But I always let things distract me in the meantime. Okay. And what I mean by that is, there for a while, I ran a record label. Okay. And, I was basically the person in charge of managing the artists and, getting content out there. I mean, I was the one that knew how to run the computer stuff, do all that stuff, but I was doing it as for free, because I was trying to not only learn, but I was trying to help these people get this word out. One thing I learned really quickly, I learned a lot in doing that. Okay. It was a distraction for what I'm doing now, but I learned so much in doing that. I learned how to manage people, which is really important especially if you're going to build a team. I learned how to manage money, which is really important if you're wanting to run a business. And I learned how to be efficient, because not only was I running myself, I was running 3 other artists and trying to make sure that they had all their content out. I was running, making sure that they have their promotions out. Unfortunately, these artists were dead weight in a lot of ways. And they're really nice guys, really good ways, but good guys. And I hope they don't listen to this. If they do, they do. I love them to death. But at the same time, they did not pull their weight when it came to promoting. They didn't pull their weight when it came to getting their self out there, when it came to contacting people, when it came to following through with things. So I felt like I was dragging them along, trying to pull their weight, helping them to do all these things, booking them shows, doing all this stuff, things that, you know, as an individual, you should be doing yourself, you know, really pushing to do that. Each person needs to pull their own.
Well, so like when it comes down to like the self-evaluation, like I'm listening to you, you're telling me whenever you found out that you had more time that you were devoted to other things, when you went through this self-evaluation, like how exactly did you go about picking, all right, this I'm going to take out, this I'm going to leave, this I'm going to take out? Like, can you explain that to us?
Okay, so I got to a point to where I started realizing that I was spending, my wife actually is like, you know, you're spending so much time doing this stuff and it's not profiting you really anything. And it seems like the guys aren't really very appreciative of the stuff you do for them, because she saw how much time I was putting in to doing the stuff that I was doing. And so I thought about that really long and hard. I'm like, you know, why am I doing this? You know, what am I doing? Like, cause I have this whole other ministry on the side, which was Now You See TV. At the time, I thought it was doing great. It was getting 20,000 views per month. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. You know, but, and then the record label I was getting, they weren't doing that great. I mean, they were selling some albums, they were playing shows and doing all these different things. But I was like, I started praying. I asked God, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to do? Because I know that I have a passion for making videos. I have a passion for interviewing people. I have a passion for connecting with people and just trying to reach people on a broad scale. And I'm really good at marketing. I'm good at, you know, connecting, contacting people. I'm good at, you know, doing all these different things. So what do you want me to do? And then I started thinking about, where's the harvest? Where am I reaching the most people right now with the least amount of effort? And so I look at my YouTube channel. I'm reaching 20,000 people a month. I mean, as a hip hop artist, a Christian hip hop artist at that, or as any artist, to reach 20,000 people in a month is a really tough task. You know that you're an artist. It's not easy to reach 20,000 people a month.
It's so very complicated to reach that many people per month. I'm thinking, so like now you're reaching all these people per month and you're getting into the interviews and you're getting yourself grounded into it. When does Now You See TV come in into your head, like the name for it? Like, where does this come from, the creativity? Is this
Now You See TV was thought of a long time ago, and I'm having a little feedback there, Montez. I don't know if you turn me up or what.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there. How are we doing? Good now?
There's an echo. I can take the headphones off maybe. Okay, now that's better. Okay, so I came up with a name. It was just a whim of a name. I just came up with it. I was like, this sounds cool. Now You See TV. And so I kind of stuck with it. So there's no real cool story behind Now You See TV. I did know that I wanted to like show people things, and I wanted to have something to see, something with see, look, you know, whatever, just something that because I'm opening people's eyes type scenario. So Now You See TV came up. I liked it. I went with it. Nobody else had it. Boom. I took it and I rode with it. So after the record label, after I had this kind of epiphany, that I'm like, okay, the record label, you know, I'll let somebody, you know, there's plenty of other people on that record label, plenty of people that can help. They can go do this. They can go on their own and they can do it. I thought there's a fat chance of finding somebody that was going to be able to do all the stuff that I was doing for them for free. But at the same time, I had to do what I needed to do. I mean, the record label meant a lot to me because one of the guys that helped start it was the guy that actually led me to the Messiah. He was a good guy. He passed away. The guy that I was running things with, which was our chief financial officer, CFO, he was a good friend. But that's about as far as it went, you know. And after that, I have to start realizing what's good for my family. I mean, this was causing problems with my family because I was spending way too much time working on something that I wasn't getting paid for. I was spending way too much time working with people that weren't appreciative. Not to say that my CFO wasn't appreciative. He was probably the most appreciative, and I was doing, you know, what I was doing, of course. But the artists themselves were not very appreciative of what was going on. So I was like, you know, this is pointless. It's stressing me out. So I started saying, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put everything I got into Now You See. All this time that I'm putting into this, I'm gonna put it into exactly what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Now, so the lessons that you're getting from not really the failures, but just like the experience of learning how to book people, learning how to do the management on the side of the music side of things and that business aspect. What are you doing with this information? Are you knowing that you're going to use this somewhere else? How are you storing it? Are you writing it down on notes? What are you doing to keep all this information that you're learning from the previous the music stuff, and then bringing it over to your own foundation, your own business, Now You See TV? How are you storing this information?
Okay, so I learned a lot about. I'm getting an echo again. I'm not sure what it is.
How about now?
Okay, that's better. I'll tuck the headphones off. There's still an echo pretty hard. Mute your camera for just a second. Mute your microphone, and then unmute it. It's like some kind of delay going on, I think. You see the mute button at the top in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, hit that mute button. There you go. There we go. No echo now. So that way, just mute yourself while you're not talking, and you won't have the echo. I think it's feeding back from your speakers and it happens sometimes with Google Hangout, which that's one thing I don't like, but kind of if you get a headphones and a mic, it kind of, tones that down, but and sometimes it happens anyway. But when you're talking, the speakers go from your speakers into your microphone. So when I'm talking, it's going right into your microphone, and then it's coming back out your speakers and it's doing it again because you're unmuted. Go ahead and mute yourself, man. I'm getting an echo. Okay, there we go. So what I brought over a lot of things. I brought over how to manage people, which is something I didn't use right away, because one thing I did learn that was most important was be by yourself. It's better to be by yourself right off the bat and do things yourself the way you want to do them. If it's better than pulling around dead weight, or it's better than having somebody that wants to change your ideas and what you're doing. It's better than having a teammate that wants to put their own word in on what you're doing. You have to be the one with the vision off the bat, because you're starting your thing. Okay. So that's number one. Don't have a team. Don't join in business with somebody first. Start your business, do what you're doing, and then take people and bring them, and because people will want to come along, they'll want to follow you. And I think anybody that has tried to start a business with bringing people on off the bat, they can attest that 9 times out of 10, bringing people in off the bat, people want to get their agenda across, and you want to get your agenda across, and they tend to clash. Things fall apart. It happens all the time to people. Okay. I realized that really quickly doing Nkosi Records, that was going to happen if I did it my way. So if I didn't do it my way.
So like whenever you're like, just now a little while ago, we had a problem with the speakers and unmuting and making the echo feedback. We're talking about failures and things like this. While you're going through this process, how many times would you say that you had to fall down, I guess, if you will, get a scrape on the knee, if you will? How many times would you say you made the mistakes and then had to learn from them? A lot of people I talk to them, they can't really understand that the mistakes are the best thing to go through. But I'm going to let you explain why you think that the mistakes are the best thing to go through, and how many times might you have made mistakes?
Well, I can tell you this. I wish I would have had somebody telling me the stuff that I'm telling people right now, because if I would have, and I would have respected what they said, I would have easily stopped a lot of pitfalls. The number one pitfall would have stopped is I would have strayed from my goal to follow somebody else's goal. I never would have strayed from my dream to help somebody else with their dream. I never would have done any of that. I would have been where I am now long time ago before I'm here now. Okay. I did learn a lot of things, but I would much rather have learned this stuff before learning it by making mistakes. See, a wise person learns from his mistakes, but a very wise person learns from other people that have already made the mistakes and moves forward with it. Okay. So there's a difference there, and it's really important to do that. And I'm telling you right now, anybody listening, forget everybody else's ideas, move with your idea, do what you're going to do, and learn from other people's mistakes. Look at people that have done it before. And if there's a video saying how to do this or how to do that, figure it out. Look at it, check it out. If there's somebody saying don't do this, check it out and see why they didn't do it. And just kind of like, just be wise about things. I can say this though, like after I started doing this, I did it on my own for a long time. I went from doing one interview a week to one interview a night. I was popping interviews out, boom, 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 left and right. And if anybody's, watches my channel that is listening to this right now, they know the stuff we talk about is fringe, interesting fringe stuff. It's really, really off the wall stuff. It's nothing like what, your show is. Your show is more about motivation, about learning. My show is more about just supernatural, paranormal, historical, ancient stuff like that. We learn about that stuff. So I got slowly, as I was doing this every night, my audience went from 20,000 to now up to about almost 500,000 people per month. So from 20,000 people a month up to about 500,000 people a month. My subscriber count it's almost tripled right now. It'd be tripled by the end of this month. My income well over 100% or 100 times what I was making before.
Now, so whenever you're going through the process and you're all right, I'm starting a new YouTube channel. A lot of people will start the new YouTube channel and they're trying to figure out, okay, I want to find out who does my content appeal to. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to figure out. How does one find out, okay, the content I make is going to draw in this crowd? How does someone find out what their most interesting thing is that they have on their YouTube account and what's going to make them the best profit or the most income off of what they're doing, return on ROI? How does someone find that out?
Well, you can find it out. You have YouTube analytics. Okay. It tells you all that stuff, who's watching what, who's doing this. And what I would suggest though, is that it's more important than that. Figure out what you want. Forget about what everybody else wants right now. At first, forget about what everybody else likes to watch and your audience and everybody who forget about that. Focus on what you like to talk about and what you would want to watch, because there's more people just like you that want to see the same things that you want to do, and you'll find your niche that way. You'll find the niche out of the people that like what you like, because just like my stuff's a niche. All right, yeah, we reach 500,000 people, but I can guarantee you that there's not billions of people that are into the stuff that I'm into. Okay, so narrowing yourself down is important. I think people, try too hard to appeal to everybody. Okay, think about it this way, and I've heard it explained this way to me before from somebody that I respect greatly. Okay, when you were looking for a wife, Montez, did you narrow down what you thought was a wife to you, or did you want to have everybody on the table? Did you narrow out people that were completely crazy, crackheads, and meth addicts?
There were standards, right? There was a checkoff list.
There were standards. It's the same with your audience. There's standards. You narrowed out those people because you didn't want to marry a meth addict. You didn't want to marry a crackhead with no teeth, okay, that decides to beat on you all the time. You didn't want to do that. You didn't want to marry a 500-pound lady that couldn't even walk. So you narrowed those people out. You wanted to marry a girl that you thought was pretty, so that's one thing you picked about. You married a girl that you thought was pretty, a girl that treated you well, and that you thought would be a good mother. So you married those girls, okay? The rest of the girls, you weren't even in your scope of reason. And that's the same way you want to be with your audience. Your audience is what you want. This is what you want. You want your audience to connect with you. And in order for them to connect with you, they're going to have to like the same things you like, and that's just all there is to it. And, there's not a lot of people in my city that like to talk about Sasquatch, or like to talk about demonic activity, or like to talk about ancient history, or like to talk about all these different things. There's not a whole lot of people that like to talk about that in my city, but online I've got 500,000 people that enjoy to listen to talk about that kind of stuff. So, I narrowed my crowd to people like me. The beauty of the internet, the beauty of YouTube, the beauty of all this stuff, you can find those people and they can be your niche crowd. And that's important. Having a niche crowd is everything. Nobody's going to appeal to everybody. I don't care who you are. You're going to appeal to your niche crowd.
Right. So you're going through this whole process with Now You See TV. You find your niche crowd. You start producing videos, doing things like this. Now, how are you coming up with the ideas of producing the video? Are there some tips that you might be able to give some people on how to make interesting content? A lot of people don't really understand they are pretty much the most interesting thing that they could create. But how did you come to the realization of all right, this is what I should create. This is what it is. You know, was there a master plan to it? How did that come about?
Okay, so my stuff that I enjoy creating, and I'm going to screen share because I'm going to show you kind of like the difference in my bread and butter and then the stuff that I enjoy doing on the side that's more like a real fun stuff to me. You know what I mean? Both of it's fun. One of it's more fun to me, but it's not as productive numbers wise, and it's not as productive in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to do a screen share real quick. I want to show you, like, okay, almost all of these here. This is a Google Hangout. This is a Google Hangout, Google Hangout, Google Hangout. Almost everything you see here is all a Google Hangout interview that I've done with somebody. Okay, but I'm going to go down to some of the stuff that I did that wasn't a Google Hangout, the interview with people that I enjoy doing myself. Okay, so let me look at some of this stuff here. I'm going to find one. It's been a while because it takes time and money to create something you really, really enjoy creating, really, really want to create. It takes a lot of time and effort. Like this is one of the things that, you know, we videotaped, and it's not much, but it's part of a series that we're going to be doing weekly. That this is something that's not easy. This is not for everybody to be able to do every week. Okay. This takes time. We're going to put a weekly series out. Okay. Filming like this. But this is something that's taken us months to film the weekly series. And we're only going to put out 10 episodes, but it's taken us months to actually do it. Okay. And then there's, you know, I'll show you some of the first stuff that I ever did real quick here. This is the first video I ever produced myself, man. And I had a help from a friend, but it was in 2010, April 3rd, 2010. All right. So we went out and we just asked people, you know, questions like, you know, we'll move on. We went out in the streets, and there's my producer, Josh Carter. He helped me out. He was my friend that helped me do it. I didn't know anything about editing or anything, but we went out there and we videotaped stuff. We went out in the streets of Evansville, interviewed some homeless characters, interviewed some friends, went to a tattoo parlor, interviewed people about what they thought about the Bible code, what they thought about the 2012. This was before the 2012 Mayan thing happened. You know, the end of the world type thing that they were talking about, Mayan calendar. All that stuff was, you know, before that. So that's the kind of stuff I enjoy doing, but that's not going to be, for me, that wasn't my bread and butter of stuff to do. I enjoyed doing it, but you can only produce so many of those. You know, that took me a couple weeks, man, to edit and to help. You know, I didn't even edit the whole thing. I had a friend that knew what he was doing, helped me edit it. And so, you know, that took me a couple weeks to do that. But so I knew that I wasn't ever going to be able to like have this as a job doing this like this. But I could do it on my spare time. So I had a job while I was doing it to help me, you know, get the money together, help me have the time to be able to do this stuff. But see, the goal is, if you really want to make a difference, I think you have to be able to make it a full-time gig. You have to be able to put time, effort, and a lot of content out, because you're gaining a fellowship, you're gaining friends, you're gaining people, you're talking to them on a daily basis. You want to keep constantly putting stuff out. So Google Hangouts, because Google Hangout streams live on YouTube. There may be people watching us right now on YouTube, checking this out, and they're watching it. Google streaming it live. People on Google Hangouts are streaming it. People from your website are streaming it. You got people streaming this video, and me and you are sitting here talking a couple hours away from each other. If I had to go and interview each individual person that I wanted to interview, that I do interview, if I had to actually go to them or fly them out to me, which we do sometimes, we're talking thousands of dollars budget to do that.
Right. Very, very effective being able to go this way. I agree on the whole. It's smarter to go this way than it is to go the other way. But when we're really getting down into, okay, you're seeing now that it's more effective to be able to do things this way. Putting investment into whatever it is that you're doing. How do you decide on what you're going to invest in? Whether it be I'm looking for new graphics, or whether a person's looking for new camera equipment. What exactly and how exactly do you go about investing your money into other projects, or, if you will, whatever?
Yeah, it's that's a tough one because it's easy to justify buying just about anything when you're looking at business stuff. Okay, but see, I guess the original goal for people, if you're wanting to start this up, is to figure out a way to do what you're wanting to do and do it cheap. Do it without having to spend a lot of your own money at all, if possible. That way you can make money without spending a bunch of money. That way you can make it doing what you love. Always think about, like, is this going to further what I love doing? Is this going to further what I love doing? Is this going to um, make my life easier with doing what I'm doing? So that kind of plays a part in it. So like if I love creating videos and I'm not happy with the quality of it, am I going to put more money into a new camera, or am I going to put money into paying somebody else to help me with it? It's tough. It just depends on what you like doing more. I like reaching people. So um, I used to love getting behind the camera and doing all that stuff like that. Not so much anymore. I still like producing things, and I still like directing things and making things happen and getting stuff out on camera. But I would rather pay somebody to come and videotape than actually be the one behind the camera. I'd rather pay somebody to edit than be the one editing, because you only have so much time in a day. We all know there's only 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter who you are, how cool you think you are, how fast you are, whatever. You still only have 24 hours in a day. And so you have to manage your time is more important than managing your money, because money equals time, time equals money. People say that, and that's true. And also, because those things go hand in hand, dude. If you can manage your time well, you'll be able to manage your money well. You'll be able to have more money because you're managing your time. See, what I do a lot of stuff to do what I'm doing. There's people that do a lot more than me. Like you look at Alex Jones, which is a similar type thing, InfoWars, to what I do, but they have employees out the wazoo, people going all over the place. They have a lot of things going on because Alex realized real quick he can't do everything. He can't do everything that he wants to do all at once. He's going to have, if he wants to cover more things, if he wants to reach out broader, he's going to have to hire people to do some of the stuff he was doing to continue out. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out, I've got two guys. I got a camera guy. I've got another guy that helps me co-host, and he's also helps promote. He's also a contributor. I have, and then I have an intern from Owensboro College that, I pass stuff. Dude, he does a lot of the stuff that he's in communications. So when I have emails to be answered, or I need somebody to book a show, or I need him to get in contact with somebody, I push some of the work his way to lighten my shoulders and to help him learn, because he's learning how to communicate, how to make things happen, how to, do this stuff. And so I'm growing slightly through this, but it's important that people realize this is step by step, because if you jump into this and try off the bat to have people working for you right off the bat, you try off the bat to do this, that, the other. I mean, if you look at my website, it's complex. You have a chat room. People can go chat on 24 hours a day. I have text reminders I send out to people. I have mailing lists I send out to people. I have to create a platform and a website for every show that I do. I have a bunch of stuff going on. And if you try to take on all that stuff at once, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to blow your mind right off the bat. But if you step one foot at a time, you will make it. And on top of that, what we talked about earlier, getting people to help you and having a team. You don't want that at first. At first, you want to build what you have, because if you have those people, like I said before, they're going to take you away from your goal, because they're going to have a thing in mind. They're like, well, maybe if I get with this guy, I can get him to help me do what I'm doing. Or maybe this is my idea is better, boom, boom, boom. But if they already see that you have a working model and plan, they're not going to be like, well, my idea is better, man. Come with me. Let's do this, do that. They're going to be like, I want to help you doing what you're doing, because you're doing what's right. You're the leader. I'm going to help you. And that's what you want. You want somebody that's willing to help you, because they know you're the leader. They know that, in my neck of the woods, they know they're my friends, but they also know that, like, this is something that I did before they were there. They want to help get it done. They want to reach as many people as possible. So they're joining me on my go. They respond well to leadership. You don't want somebody that's a boss hoss that thinks they should be the one in charge. You should be listening to me. You don't want somebody like that. Kick those people to the curb real quick, because they will never follow. They'll never lead. They'll never do anything, because they're stuck in their head. So kick those people right off to the curb. Don't even let them join your team. And it's good to show love to people and stuff, but you're going to know real quick if somebody's there to follow, if there's somebody's there to going to try to take over what you're doing. And so it's really important to know that. I think that's one of the most important things. And something that, I would add too, is God created each and every one of us, and he knows exactly what we're supposed to do. Everybody's made for something. Okay. Everybody's made to do something. And I think the thing you're made to do goes along with what you have a passion for. Okay. Almost always. What I'm made to do, I feel like, is to be able to reach people. What I'm made to do is feel able to connect with people. What I'm made to do is to be able to understand what people want in my genre and bring knowledge to them. I really want to bring knowledge to people. I want to bring knowledge to myself, which is why I started interviewing all these authors. I want to know what's going on. Like, the X-Files says the truth is out there. I want to know everything. I don't want to die not knowing anything. I want to know everything that there is to know, every secret of the universe, every secret. I want to know it all. And so I'm right. And so I'm on my quest doing that, and I made it my lifestyle. I made it my job. I made it my everything, because that's what I want to do. So I made it that otherwise I wouldn't have time to do it. So you have to make whatever your dream and passion is, you have to make it happen in the way your own. And your passion dream may not be what I'm doing here, but your passion may be making jewelry. If your passion is making jewelry, people make millions of dollars making jewelry all the time. Make millions of dollars making jewelry. Put everything you got into making jewelry and go with it.
Classic. You sound like the very well-known Gary Vaynerchuk. Stick to what you're good at. Don't worry about the things you're not good at. Start working on the things you're good at. Now, I really wanted to ask you a question. We were talking about following and things like that, getting people to start responding to whatever it is, the content that you're creating on YouTube, whether you're talking motivational, whether we're talking religious or whatever. Where would you say is the best avenue to start pointing and getting your traffic? Like, would you suggest Twitter, Snapchat, any of these? Like, what is your way of going about things and getting traffic to your YouTube videos?
That's an interesting question. I think that, originally I started off sharing everything on Facebook. Well, hold on. 2010, Facebook was 2010. Facebook is when I started joining Facebook in 2010. So I'd share stuff on there. Hardly anybody saw it because I wasn't very, popular on Facebook. Nobody knew who I was except for my few friends. And so it wasn't like, boom, Facebook is going to do this. But I think the most important thing you're going to learn is Twitter, Facebook. You can share it on all that, but you're going to really want your fans to be sharing it for you, because the more shares you get, the more people are going to watch it. And the better your content, the more people are going to watch it. The more interesting, believable, whatever you want to call it, whatever if you're talking YouTube alone, the more, the better your stuff is, the more people are going to share it if you can get to the right audience. Getting to the right audience is very hard at first, okay? And we went through a little bit today about Keyword Planner. Okay, we went through Keyword Planner. That is an important tool to Google Keyword Planner, because you're going to find out what people are searching for. Okay, but you want to find it related to what you want to talk about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope to have plenty more videos to where we can walk you through how exactly what he's talking about with the Google Keyword Planner, how to name your videos so you can get the best results out of the content that you're producing, because like I'll let him tell you the importance of the title of your YouTube video. If you don't have the title right, you don't have the tags right, you can't really be upset when you're not getting the plays that you'd like to get played.
Right. And, you could see the way I like to do it. Now, I could make little cat videos all day. I could go find some old lady with a cat that has funny cats. I could film their cats all day long, probably have a few viral videos with cats, but that's not my passion, okay? So if that's what you're wanting to do, go find you a crazy cat, videotape it, boom. See, when we go to Keyword Planner, we're not looking for some harebrained title that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're looking for a title that people are searching for that has to do with what we are talking about. Like today, the title was Change Your Life, Make Changes, Live Your Dream. All those were titles, and all those were taglines and keywords that people were searching for, and that's what we're talking about here. People are searching for these things, and we're talking about it, so they go hand in hand. This is about changing your life. This is about making a change. So many people go through their entire life and never succeed, never know what they want to do, and they never do anything because they're so worried about what this person thinks. They're so worried about what that person thinks. They're worried about, oh, this guy's telling me I should do this. This could be cool. They're worried about making money when they should be worried about fulfilling their passions, because money is great and all that. I did not start this for money, and I don't do it for money, but I do make money doing it because I'm successful at it. Okay. So, but it can never be about just the money. If it's about just the money, go to college, become a doctor, and then forget about everything else. Because that's basically what you got to do.
Right. I could. That's so true. So like, whenever someone's getting their video started, they're saying, all right, fine. It's not about the money. It's about what I like to do. I like to do things, but I've got a job. I can't get up this early. I can't do this. I'm tired. My email's not working right. All these excuses. Now, how exactly can you say get over the excuses? How did you get over? I know that I'm sure the kids were crying, had to do certain things. How do people get over the excuses? Do you have some kind of way to possibly get them through their excuse making problems?
If they're making excuses, they're not going to do it anyway. Okay. So if they're already making excuses, you might as well just throw them off the bus, because they do not have what it takes to do it, because you have to want what you're doing. You have to want it with everything that you have. And you can't teach that. You almost have to hit rock bottom in order to even consider yourself in the running to be successful at anything you do. You have to want it with everything you got. You have to want it like somebody's holding your head underwater for an hour. You have to want that like you want air. You have to want it that bad in order to do it. So I might be tired one night, but you know what? I'm tired a lot. And some nights I'm going on 2 shows before I do my own show. I'm on the air 6 hours, 7 hours straight. And then before that, I'm working on the website to get my platform up for the other thing. And then I'm working on somebody else's stuff for their show that are on my channel, because I have 2 other people that do shows on my channel, and get ready to add 2 more here in the next month or 2. So I have to work on their stuff. All their stuff's making successful out of me. So I don't mind helping people as long as they're part of my goal. But so I have all these different things going on, but I can't just say I'm too tired for this. My email's not working properly. I can't just make excuses. If I do that, I won't succeed. I did that for a long time, Montez. I did that for a long time until I finally got tired of it, man. You know what I mean? I got tired of not being able to do what I want to do.
Right. Going forward is just being stagnated. Eventually you're going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of standing still, like that standstill point. Have you ever been in the feelings that Now You See TV has been at a standstill? I know here, recently you've been uploading videos, doing wonderful. I know that the subscribers that you're getting, it's just phenomenal of how much you get per month, how many subscribers come in per month. But how did you get over that hump? Because if you did have a time where you felt down, how did you get over the hump of, all right, I've got to move past this? How did you motivate yourself to rise you up from the struggle? How did you do that?
Well, I can tell you this. When I decided to put everything I had into it, I haven't had a hump after that, okay? Only because I literally put everything I have into it. It's easy to say, a lot of people are like, well, I'm putting everything I got into it, but then you have to go look back and see, what are you putting as your priority, okay? Is your number one priority this, or is it this, or is it this? Your number one priority, if you're doing YouTube videos, needs to be creating content. For one, it needs to be creating content. That's the most important thing. It needs to be your number one goal. If your phone rings 100 times during the day while you're creating content, there's 100 times you shouldn't answer your phone. If your email dings 100 times while you're creating content, that's 100 times you shouldn't answer your emails. Okay, so you make it a priority. When I'm doing something, when I'm working on something that has my full concentration, my phone's in the other room. Okay, my phone is all the way, and right now my phone's in here because I left it in here on accident. But when I'm working on my computer, getting stuff done, my phone's in there. If somebody's calling me, they're calling me. That's fine. But I can't multitask, Montez. I can't sit there and do something online and then have somebody talking in my ear at the same time. I just can't do it. I can show people how I'm doing what I'm doing. Like if we're talking about what I'm doing at the moment, I can talk to you through what I'm doing, and that's cool. I can do that. But if you're trying to like tell me a story, or you're trying to, do this or that, I don't make a lot of time for phone calls during the day. There's only.
It seems to me it seems like a lot of self-evaluation. Like you've spent a lot of time learning things that you're good at and things that you're not good at, staying clear from the things that you're not good at, and continuing to press on to the things that you're good at. It seems like just a whole bunch of realizing who you are and how you function and maintain. This is just what it sounds like. Might this play a part in it?
Yeah, man, and it's an important part. And I guess being able to multitask is a good thing, but I always look at it as a way, 100 ways of doing things badly. Like if you're doing 3 things at once, you're doing 3 things badly at once. You have to be able, and that's why you can't do everything. You have to start small and start what you can do and move through that. I don't answer very many calls a day. My phone rings. Man, I mean, I probably get, if I were to sit and call everybody back that calls me every day, if I were to sit and answer every email that emails me a day, if I were to sit and message people back every day or comment people back every day, I wouldn't have time for anything else. So I don't do it. And I every now and then I'll call people back if it's somebody I know and it's something that I need to talk to them about, or if they don't leave a message, then I don't even call them back for sure. A lot of people comment. I rarely comment back on my videos, not because I don't want to, but because I get hundreds of comments a day. If I were to spend 2 minutes on each of those comments, comment people back, that's 200 minutes a day. That's nearly 4 hours a day. Not quite, but it's like 3 hours and some change a day.
Here's some good question. How exactly then do people get a hold of, like a lot of people get frustrated. Oh, I want to talk to this person or that person, but they seem too involved in things to get a hold of them. Like how does that person get a hold of you or anyone else that's like really reputable in what they do, and knowing that they don't have a lot of time? How could someone get a hold of them?
Well, in my case, I hold live shows nightly almost. I mean, almost like right now while we're talking, Montez, I have a live show going on now. You see TV that's going on. It's hosted by another guy. It's going on. But when I'm on my live shows, I have a personal chat, a chat for just the people that want to talk to me and want to talk to my guests on my website. So they can come on there. I'm on the chat. They can talk to me. I answer the questions for them. I do all that stuff. I set a designated time while I'm doing my show for people to ask questions, for people to talk to me. Over time, I've gotten to know a lot of those people in the chat room because they continue to come, and I'm friends with them on Facebook. So when they message me, I almost always message them back. It might take me a day or two, but I almost always message them back because I know that person is invested in me. And I also care about them because they're like family to me, because they show up to all my shows, they comment, they talk, I see them all the time. You know what I mean? And so the people that are invested in me, I make more time for. I do make more time for the people that are invested in me and invested in themselves, and whatever they're invested. And so I make more time for those people. If it's just some random, I have a lot of the nature of the beast, and what I'm doing is I'm going to have a lot of crazy people that contact me too, saying that, the devil tried to marry him or something like that. I have, and so I don't have time to deal with somebody like that all day long, but I do know people that help counsel people. So I'll pass them off to them or whatnot. But I mean, you just have to be really like, okay, so think of
how would I know that you have interviewed a whole lot of reputable people, and I was very fortunate enough to be at one of the events you held out in Evansville, Indiana, and Gary Wayne. What was the prophecy? What was the name of the event again?
It was the Exposing Darkness Prophecy Conference here in Evansville, Indiana. What was your question about that? And we did that event too to bring people in that we that we want to see, you know what I mean? To connect with people that are fans of our stuff. So
yeah, like connecting those dots, like how exactly did you go out and say, all right, I want Gary Wayne here, I want Rob Skiba here, I want, you know, just even some more people. I can't remember that other guy's name. What was the other guy's name?
David Carrico.
David Carrico. Yes, absolutely. How does someone? All right, I want to throw an event. How do I get a hold of them? How would I go about like going to find the person and say, I want you here at this event. Will you please be here?
Well, see, Gary Wayne and Rob Skiba and David Carrico are people that I've connected with before the event. They're people that I know, the people that I wanted there, and they're people that I wanted to hang out with, and I wanted to hear their information. So like, it wasn't very hard for me to get them there. When you do an event, you want to get people that you've already connected with, you know, like what kind of people that you're dealing with, you know, off the bat, because it's just, it's so much easier because you're flying people in, you're doing all the stuff like that to do this. If you don't already have, I wouldn't even suggest anybody doing an event unless they already have a base. They already have an audience base. Don't even try to make a event, you know, from trying to draw, because we had people coming in from around the world to the event. Don't ever try to do that if you don't have a local crowd already, or if you don't have a national crowd like we did on ICTV. Rob Skiba has a national crowd. Gary Wayne has a national crowd. David Carrico has a national crowd. So they drew people in from not just locally, but from around the area. So you have to already have a base to do something like that. I wouldn't suggest anybody just doing an event unless they have a niche already. Find your niche, do your event after you get your niche. That way you can connect with people that want to connect with you. You can connect with your fan base. You can connect with your followers. You can connect with your friends through an event like that. So, you know, a lot of the people that were at that event were people that it was cool to meet in person for the first time. But
what would you say you do most of your business on? Would you say you do it on like the laptop? Do you do it on your cell phone? I know the cell phone is becoming now the most epic piece of equipment. You can take it anywhere you go, get a message here. But as far as like being able to really see things, change fonts, and so on and so forth, maybe some suggest the desktop. What would you say is the most common thing for you to use? What piece of equipment?
The most common for me is my desktop, only because it's in my office and it gets me away from other distractions. I mean, I've used a laptop before and I'll sit in front of the TV and do it, or sit wherever, but there's distractions. I mean, when you're working, you need to work, you can't always be working all the time. And I know that, like me, I have kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, or a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old that run around the house. And so I can't always be working, but when I am working, I try to concentrate on what I'm doing and focus on that alone, and to get as much done in a short amount of time as possible. And it's important. It's so important to get as much done and to have. And I think one of the things that, laptop, phone, desktop, it really doesn't matter as long as you can be efficient at what you're doing with it. I don't think it matters what you use as long as you're efficient. I think the reason I use desktop, because I'm sitting here in my office right now. I have everything I need. I have my external hard drives. I have lots of information and stuff that I have on them. I have my webcam up on my computer. I have my backdrop. I have my, I got my printer here. I've got everything I need, my speakers in case I need to turn the music up while I'm working or whatever. I got everything right here. So it's easy for me, but I guess, what's more important than that is just being able to be efficient with the stuff you do. I would suggest making a list. I mean, I've got a list of things that I need to do. Like, okay, I was getting ready to bring it up, but I got names and stuff on there. I don't want to do it, but I have a list. A window is on the bottom of my screen that has a list of things that I need to do, and I add to it all the time, and I take away from it after I've done it. And that list is a constant list. It's always up there, and it's always a reminder. I need to do this. Boom. Okay, I got that done. Delete. Okay, I need to do this. So I'm going to add it to the list. And then I keep adding. Sometimes the list gets like 100 things long, but at least I have that list and I know what I have to do. I already know. So, because people all the time are like thinking like, oh, I should do this. But then the next day they forgot all about it. Well, making a list is important. It's important to success. I know a lot of people don't do it, but it's very important. Having a calendar this is one reason I have my phone here. I wanted to show you guys this calendar app that you have right here. Okay. Can you see that? This calendar you see almost every day I got is full with something. I got,
really see it too well.
I got shows lined up almost every day on my calendar. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I got shows. I got all these different shows lined up. I got certain things that I got lined up on here. That's the interview I got. So I got these things lined up on my calendar. I never forget that I have them because they're always right here. And if you have a wife or a spouse that you have to make things happen together, like she knows, like, hey, I got something on this time, you can add their email to it and it'll add it to their calendar. And then you have a calendar right here that nobody can dispute. My wife can't be like, hey, I scheduled something for that time. I'll be like, well, I'm looking on my calendar and I don't see it, but I scheduled something. You have it right here. There's no, and then you can set it to send you a reminder. Just another important key that I haven't talked about. We could go on forever about important keys because there's so many important things, but it's to follow through. Always follow through with people, especially if it's your first time dealing with them. Now, if I contact an author and I say, hey, I'd love to have you on the show the 29th of July or, the 13th of August or whatever, and I put them on the calendar, I have it set up, everything like that, and then that day rolls around and I don't contact them, I don't have anything to do with them, they're probably not going to want to deal with me again. They're going to be like, this guy's not a professional. This guy is just some idiot that wants to do something, and right. I'm not going to mess with them. So you have to follow through with everything that you do. I mean, that's important. I know it's not as hard as it seems. You just make yourself do it. You just like, okay, follow through, boom, I'm going to do it. If there's anything that's distracting you or taking your time, that is, I knew a guy that used to drink a lot. And so his alcohol would detract from him getting things done. Okay. And
I could believe it. Alcohol will slow you down if you're trying to get things done.
Yeah. And he was really good at what he did. He was a video editor, really good video editor. Like, I wish that he would work for me, but he has this drinking problem that prevents him from getting work done. If you have a problem like that, if it's drinking, if it's smoking weed, or whatever it is that is preventing you from getting work done or preventing you from thinking straight while you're working, you need to think of that as an enemy, and you need to slay that enemy. You need to cut that enemy off right at the head and leave it alone while you're working. Get it out of your head completely and do what you're doing, because that is a nuisance and something that's taking your pocket, grabbing money and throwing it out of your pocket, grabbing time, throwing it out of your pocket, throwing it away from your life. That's exactly what it is. And if you have people that bug you and call you and aren't really, are trying to keep you away from your goal, or they, they're bringing you down, or they're annoying or whatever, there's a time and a place to talk to those kind of people, but it's not while you're working, and it's not when you have other things to do. So think of that person. Think about, set up this idea in your mind. Every time you're talking to that person, every minute you're talking to them, you're giving them $1. Because let's say each minute represents $1, or 60 minutes an hour. You say you're worth $60 an hour. You're giving them $1. Boom. Every hour, every minute. Boom, boom. By the time you talk 20 minutes, you just gave that person $20. And you have to think of it that way, because it can very well be that your time is worth $60 an hour when you're doing what you're doing. Your time could be worth more than that, depending on how hard you're working, what you're doing, and all that. So you have to think of it that way. Every time you talk to somebody, you give them 20 minutes of your time, you're giving them money. You're giving them money. And some people, it's okay to give money your time to, because you care about the person, or you want to help them, or they're helping you or whatever. It's okay to give certain people your time. It's not, charity is a good thing. It's okay. Time is money. So when you're giving people your time, you're also giving them money. People that I guess appreciate that kind of thing, continue with those people. People that don't appreciate your time, it's just like handing somebody a $20 bill and them not saying a word, not caring about what you just did. They don't care. They just took it in their pocket and they went off on their own merry little way. Don't waste any more time or money on those people, because time.
Powerful stuff, John. I'm not trying to cut you off or anything like that, but we don't want to spill all the beans out today. They can always tune back in later. Please tell them how they can get back in contact with you and where they can find your links at, so on and so forth. John, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
If you go to nowuctv.org and you can go to the contact us section and you can contact me. You can go to Facebook. I'm on there as John Pounders. I have Now You See TV Facebook, Now You See TV Twitter, YouTube, Now You See TV. NowYouSeeTV.com. You can get there through that. You can get there, just type in Now You See TV or type in John Pounders and you'll find me online. We have a lot of cool content, a lot of cool stuff. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here and see that I know what I'm talking about, see that I know how to grow what I'm doing, and I'm continuing growth, and I don't consider myself a master of anything yet, but I know how to succeed and know how to make it and keep going. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of it right now, and you can see that I'm in the process of it. So I'm not just blowing.
We're definitely going to be pointing people in your direction, because I'm pretty sure everyone that's watching this content, they're going to go back, they're going to look at all the information that you have to give. They're going to find out what exactly you've been involved in, how long you've been involved in it, and what it's doing for you. So this is going to be a very nice, great opportunity for other people to not just really watch this video, but then go watch and see how he does what he does. Like, again, we got to learn from other people. Like, if you can't get things right yourself, you got to make sure that you go look somewhere else. Seek a way to find out. Like, and if you can't find out yourself, read a book about it. Or better yet, since we have the internet, check out Google on it, and things will happen. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been John Pounders. Thank you so much for being here, John.
Thank you, Montez, and I'm sure we'll do more together, and we'll talk about how-tos on certain things for people that are wanting to learn certain things. And there's a lot to learn, definitely, but it's well worth it.
Thank you so much for being on, and you got it right on point. It's a lot to learn, but it's well worth it. Why not take the time and learn something? Ladies and gentlemen, itsmontez.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the website. If you're not subscribing, you're not going to keep up. Duh.